So the topic of today's sermon is credit cards. I'm pretty sure most of us know what credit cards are, and for the few people in the world who do not, the way credit cards work is that you get a card and you can pretty much buy anything you want with it. And at a certain time, it's your job to pay the cost. Whatever you bought, you pay for it. But there's a catch, there's a trick. If you don't want to pay, it's okay. You don't have to. You can pay later. You can pay part of it or even none of it. And that's great. So you got to buy what you want, didn't have to use any cash, and you can pay for it later. The problem is, if you do it this way, they add a small, maybe not so small, fee. They add a fee to your price. So let's say you bought something for $100, a month later it's time to pay, you pay only a part of it. Well, they give you, 15%, 20%, whatever it is, and it keeps adding on. Well, you can buy more things, and the more things you buy, the bigger your bill becomes. The less you pay, the more you have to pay later. The longer you push it off, the longer you let it sit, the bigger your credit card bill will get. Not only that, your credit will also get pretty bad, but that's a different topic, not for today. Now, what happens? After a while, after a couple years, after 5 years, 10 years, what happens? A lot of people have so much credit card debt that it actually overtakes the actual amount they even spent. You spent maybe $10,000, but your credit card debt is like $50,000, $40,000. How did this happen? How did suddenly just a little bit of shopping, a little bit of buying things turn out to become such a huge debt? Now, in Buddhism, we say that everything that we do is stored in our behavior, in our actions. So therefore, what kind of actions do we have that lead to this kind of behavior? Plain and simply, it's the kind of action that when you wake up, you don't make your bed. When you make a mess on the toilet, I'll clean it later. You make a mess in the sink, it's not a big deal. You get your clothes from the dryer, we'll fold it later. I have homework, we'll do it later. I gotta do some work, do something, do a little bit, and we'll do it later. Or even when you have to eat food, when you start eating, I'll watch some TV first. Let's watch a video, let's do something else. For the kind of people that practice this kind of behavior, it is not strange for us to see that they would have things like credit card debt or things like this. Why is that? It's because it's the kind of behavior that pushes off something that should be done now and does it later. And as long as you cultivate this kind of behavior, you're going to run into the same kind of problems. One day when it comes time to, let's say, you're a young man who doesn't clean his room, doesn't fold his clothes, doesn't do this, doesn't do that. And today, suddenly the girl that you've been crushing on forever calls you back and says, I'm coming over in 1 hour. So instead of being happy and being excited, what happens? That's when your credit card bill comes. Now you're running around cleaning all the bathrooms, you're cleaning all your rooms, you're folding all your clothes, you're washing this, and you realize, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to clean up everything before she comes over. And when she does, then you're embarrassed. You're embarrassed about the mold under the sink, you're embarrassed about the dishes in the dishwasher that aren't clean, you try to hide your clothes under your bed, and if she looks under there, she finds them, and it's very embarrassing, and therefore you ruin your credit. So how do you beat these things? How do you win in scenarios like this? It's the same thing. You train yourself. You train yourself to see that little things are a big deal. Little things that seem insignificant are actually very significant. You put in the effort to train yourself in the little things, to do something and finish it. Finish what you start immediately. Why? Because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. You don't know if you're going to have enough time. You don't know if you're going to run out of time. And this goes for not only behavior, but also actions to other people. You don't hurt other people's feelings. You don't know if you're going to have a chance to say sorry. You don't act mean toward your son, daughter, father, mother, because you don't know if they die, you won't have a chance to apologize. So what do? We live carefully. We live intelligently so that we don't risk these situations. So for certain people, we have people who know the system and understand the way it works. So when credit cards come, they do use the credit cards because you don't have to carry cash. when the bill comes, they come today on the 15th and it's due on the 20th, they pay it on the 15th. It asks for $1,000, they pay $1,000. And for these people, their credit is perfect. For these people, the credit card company never gets a single extra dollar from them, from fees or credit lines, because these people never go over the line. And for these people, these are the people that credit companies hate the most, because they get no money from them. But it's okay, there's other people that give them tons of money anyway. So for us, it's our choice. Do you want to be the kind of person that the credit companies hate or the credit companies love? It's up to you. And in this case, the hint is you don't want them to love you.